40% of every attempted shot in the NBA is a three-pointer. And that compares to almost 22% in 2012 or even 18% in 2003. You don't want to miss the craziest long-range missile shooters of all time. First off, we've got Steph Curry. Okay, he's straight up the undisputed king of shooting in the NBA. Seriously, is there anything left to say? The guy shattered almost every record when it comes to long-range shots, earning himself the title of the greatest shooter ever to grace the basketball court. His shots? They're not just accurate, they're downright artistic. Curry's game has straight up changed the way we see basketball, and he's not just the star on the court, he's making waves in grassroots basketball too. Just look at the stats. Every shooting record, especially the efficiency ones, have been taken on by Curry and given a run for its money. How does someone chucking up crazy tough shots left and right manage to be so darn accurate? Whether it's mid-range, floaters, or launching from deep inside the arc, Curry's touch is pure magic. Logic might take a backseat when he's on the court, but let's face it, there is no more debate about who the best shooter is. Steph Curry has settled that score. But before Curry, there was this next player who wasn't too shabby at three-pointers himself, Ray Allen. Now, a lot of NBA fans might only remember him as the Heat's three-point specialist or as part of the Big Three in Boston. But here's the thing, Ray Allen was way more than just a shooter for most of his career. Throughout his playing days, Allen wasn't just known for his three-point magic. He was a top-notch scorer who could deliver on all three game levels. The guy had one of the most beautiful jump shots in the NBA and a lifetime field goal percentage of 40%. Ray Allen never had a season where his field goal percentage dropped below 35%. So next time you think of Ray Allen, remember that he's not just a sharpshooter. He's a smooth guy who knows how to score from every angle. Here's another player who was an amazing long-range shooter for his time, Reggie Miller. Way before Allen entered the scene, Miller held the title of the NBA's all-time leader in made three-pointers, hitting a whopping 2,560 shots from downtown throughout his career. Back in the day, Miller was the guy that defenses lost sleep over. Teams went all out to contain his long-range game, a strategy we see a lot in today's NBA but wasn't common in the 90s. Miller was kind of ahead of his time, you know? If he played in today's league where shooting is the name of the game, his stats would probably be crazier than they already are. This next guy's stats might not be so great, but he was a phenomenal shooter. Larry Bird. Bird, without a doubt, was one of the best shooters of his era, even though deep shooting wasn't as common back then. You see, Bird didn't have the luxury of launching 7 or 8 three-pointers a night like today's stars. The league back then was more about playing inside out, not as spread out as nowadays. But hey, the efficiency was still there, just in smaller doses. Bird not only won the NBA three-point competition, but also boasted 6 seasons with at least 40% three-point shooting average. So, while Bird's three-point attempts might seem modest, his shooting game was anything but. Kevin Durant. When you think of Durant, it's like a quick mental checklist of size, athleticism, and pure talent. People immediately peg him as one of the trickiest players to guard in NBA history. But you know what? If we zoom in on his shooting game, he's not just good, he is among the absolute best. Durant's got one of the quickest jump shot launches in the NBA. His mid-range game? Legendary. But here's the kicker, he's not just a mid-range expert. Durant has also solidified himself as one of the league's top three-point shooters. Remember those infamous pull-up threes against LeBron James and the Cavaliers in back-to-back NBA Finals in 2017 and 18? Yeah, that was him. Now, the numbers back it up too. A career 38.3% three-point percentage. And now, it's Dame time. Damian Lillard has sunk 10 or more threes in an NBA playoff game. Not once, but twice. That is some serious long-range skill. Now, despite earning a spot on the NBA's 75th anniversary team, it feels like Dame doesn't always get the credit he deserves for his incredible shooting abilities. But when it comes to kicking the ball from downtown, he's absolutely one of the all-time greats. He is easily the second best shooting point guard ever to grace the court, right behind Steph Curry. And let's not forget the range. Dame's got the most extensive range we've ever seen. Sure, he might not be as effective as Steph or some others, but there's no denying that when it comes to that deep shot, Lillard's in a league of his own. Damian Lillard redefining the game with his unbelievable three-point skill. Just look at what he did against the Sacramento Kings. With the game hanging in the balance, Lillard, in true clutch fashion, went head-to-head with De'Aaron Fox. Lillard sank a wild pull-up three just beyond the Bucks logo, securing the victory in Milwaukee and christening the city with its first ever Dame Time moment. Speaking of some giant sharpshooters, this next guy's got one of the smoothest shots in the game. Dirk Nowitzki. An era dominated by post threats in his position, Dirk stood out by being an excellent shooter in the mid-range and beyond the arc. Dirk's famous fadeaway shot is one of the most unstoppable moves in NBA history. Back in the mid-2000s, when most 7-footers were doing their thing in the post, Dirk was casually posting 50, 40, 90 seasons. No middle ground here. You were either too small or too slow to defend against the Dirk magic. Dirk Nowitzki rewriting the rules for big men and leaving defenders scratching their heads. Today you can see Jokic and Embiid doing the same thing and taking it to another level. But this next guy isn't too bad either. Steve Nash. Steve Nash is the embodiment of pure effectiveness on the basketball court. Now, Nash earned not one, but 2 MVP honors, thanks to his central role in Mike D'Antoni's lightning-fast 7 seconds or less approach. The 7 seconds or less was a Phoenix Suns era rocking the NBA from 2004 to 2010, when they were coached by Mike D'Antoni and steered by point guard Steve Nash. Renowned for their turbocharged offense and cutting-edge tactics, they were the trendsetters of strategic hoop brilliance. From 2005 to 2010, Nash consistently recorded seasons where he shot a remarkable 450 out of 490. Honestly, he could have easily notched up 5 straight 50, 40, 90 seasons if he hadn't missed the 90 free throw mark by a tiny .01. Sure, some people debate whether Nash truly deserved those MVP awards, but you can't deny his incredible talent, especially when it came to shooting. Even though Nash might not be putting up shots as frequently as others, his accuracy across all shooting levels is unparalleled. And now back to another Splash Brother, Klay Thompson, the man with the jumper that's just pure art. His shot is like a masterpiece on the basketball court. Klay is no joke. He's one of the most feared shooters in NBA history, and there's good reason for that. He's got textbook form, a rapid release, and a trigger so quick you might just blink and miss it. If it weren't for his splash brother, Steph Curry, Klay might be getting crowned as the greatest shooter of all time. Did you know that he holds the NBA record for sinking 14 three-pointers in a single game? That's insane. And it's not a one-time thing. He's got 2 or more games with 12 made three-pointers each. Klay has got a knack for shining in those Game 6 moments, like the unforgettable 2016 Western Conference Finals against the Thunder, where he buried 11 threes, the second most ever in a playoff game. When it comes to the postseason, Klay's deadly shooting shows up when it matters the most. No doubt about it, this guy is up there with the greatest shooters to ever touch a basketball. But if you want to check out some amazing mid-range shooters, make sure to click this next video.